Okay, before we actually close the box up for the final flap, I thought we would go ahead and just put some paper under this. It's not that you're going to see it really well, but when you're pulling the drawer open, you could. So why not? Let's just finish it up nicely. And let me go ahead and tell you the size. So I'm at 4 3/4 across the top, and from the bottom to the top. So let me write that down. 4 3/4, and this is 10 inches. Okay. So that is going to give us a nice finish to the inside of your drawer. Alrighty. Oop. I didn't put the... There we go. There we go. Let's just lay this in here. I just thought it would be easier that you could get your hand in here and whatnot to lay this down. A little burnishing done. Make sure you're getting the corners down nice. That front edge down nice. Good. Now we can go ahead and pull off the rest of the score tape backing that we have on our side here. And we're going to do just like we did. I'm going to put a nice bead of glue along the bottom here and in between my score tape. Put some dots on the score tape. All right, and then this should come and meet up perfectly right against your box, and just burnish that down. And then we are going to put our structure strip, which we could have done. Let's burnish. And now we're going to put our structure strip on this one. Just measure. And cut. Get a nice bend in there. And put this one down. Right on the edges. There we go. Burnish that. Oh, careful. Gotta be careful of the back end that has your drawer. You don't want to bend that. Okay. I'm going to take the other part of this off. And we're just going to, you know what? If I could have gotten a little bit more of that off of there. Poodle head. I think it'll be all right. Just going to bend this right over onto the side piece. And I'm going to stick some glue in there because it does not want, oh, yeah, there it goes. I'm just going to stick some glue in there because it does not want to catch. So we're going to burnish, burnish, burnish. Again, being careful of these spots that don't have the structure really to take that. Just giving myself a nice edge there. All right, our box is together and my glue is erupting. I don't like when it does that. And of course I didn't even stick my pin. Oh my goodness. I got sick last night and I think it has just really thrown me off. Now I don't even know what I've done with my pin, and I usually always stick it in. That's how you know when I'm off, guys. There it is, way over there. Okay. All right. Yeah, yesterday was not a very fun day for me. So anyway, now we're going to slide our drawer in. And you gotta wiggle. And I'm thinking that I do not have enough room now with the box backing. I'm gonna cry. I'm just gonna cry. You guys are seeing like the worst tutorial ever on putting a box together. Worst! But it's all fixable. It is all fixable. I'm just going to cut 1/8 of an inch off, which should leave me with still plenty to have a drawer stopper on the back. Stayed right on the line. That was very nice. Now that I have that groove, it should be fairly easy to stay into it. I said fairly easy. I didn't say it would be super easy. There we go. Don't push too hard because that just is too much work. And it will, cut through. Let me try going from this end now. Oops. No. I'm feeling the bottom. Oh, for heaven's sakes. There's that cut through. Okay. Wow. Come on. And now let's see if I can get it done this way. There we go. All right. Now we're going to take our structure strips, and I want to do nice finished. Let's see, do I have some that are long enough for the sides? There and there. I think these are too short. So I have 2 for the sides. Just kind of put them down and draw yourself a line so we can make them the right size. And we're just going to put them across the top so we have a nice finished edge. So just run this right up to your score line. Because we will put paper on this, but this way you don't have to wrap the box again. And then just wrap it around your edge. Okay, there's one. I hope I haven't made this too difficult for you guys. And I thought it looked really good on paper. I went through my math over and over and over again before I even cut the first thing, but it has been a long time since I've done any kind of box. So it's kind of been a relearning experience for me. And I don't know what it's been for you guys. Okay, and then I put it down on one side up to the score line, and I'm just rolling it over the top and getting that score tape down, and then doing my burnishing. Burnish the top so it's nice and flat. It has a good finish look to it. All right, and then the long one. Let's do it this way. Here, lay it down on the edge. Make a mark. Give it a fold. Oh, I told you I wasn't going to say up to the score line anymore. I fibbed. What can I say? I fibbed. But that's what I'm here for, is to remind you this has to be cut just a little bit shorter because it needs to fall in between these two. So I'm just going to cut it just a little shorter. And good, that fits in there nicely now. Okay. So we're just going to end to end. And you know, since you're just folding it over, if it goes over the score line this time, in this situation, not that big of a deal. But shh, don't tell anybody I said that. Let's burnish this down. Take this off. And just fold it over. Pulling it around. All right. We're working. Okay. So now that we have our box in here, I actually need to, where's my bottom? Lid top, not it. Box bottom. Put this inside to where it's going to hold the box right where it needs to be. So that's a little bit of a tricky situation as well, because the box, tell you what I'm gonna do. I am going to put something, let's see, my eraser. Yeah. So I just put something in there to support the box where it needs to be. and I'll be able to get it out because I'll just pull the box out. And then we're going to get our box bottom in there, and that's where we're going to place our box bottom. But before that, I don't know if I can show you. I just put my eraser right there so it kind of held the box up a little bit. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and take this back out. Be gentle. It is a snug fit, which I said is what I wanted because I didn't want that much play. If you have any of these structure strips kind of hanging over the edge, just give them a cut. There we go. Just give them a cut and get them off of there. This is going to be a very long video. I'm going to take my structure strips and I'm going to finish around the top here. And I'm not going to film that. And then I'm going to set up structure strips on this a little differently. So I will show you that in a minute. I'll be back. Okay, so I got the structure strips around the bottom to hide that nice edge for us. In order to give this piece a little more support that is holding all of our folders and everything, I'm going to do structure. I'm so sorry. Oh, I don't know if I'm coming down with a cold or what. I've been miserable today, but I wanted to get this out because and those of you that are making this, you know, I just feel like you're waiting for the box, and I am so sorry that this has kind of been from start to finish not as professionally done as I'd like it to be, but at least I'm showing you where there's ways that you can fix things that get screwed up. Now for this one that we're doing here, I measured just to the inside of each one of the openings for our drawer. But there is a lip here. So I am going to open my strip back up, and I'm going to get my little scoreboard right here. And I am going to do a score line on both sides. I don't know, or just one side. Let's see. Down over an eighth of an inch from the 1/2 inch score line that you've got there already. And that should give us, and I can't score it all the way down because it's a little longer. I swear these need to at least be 8.5. These little score pal thingies. If it was 8.5, it would work a whole lot better. I mean, they go down to 8 and maybe 1/4. It could just make it a stitch longer. All right, so now I'm going to fold, just get that fold in there so that it will go down into that little lip that we've got on the drawer. So we've got both score lines worked now. And I'm also going to run some of my glue. All right, Lisa, let's do a little housekeeping here. I am just not up to my game. Oh, that was my scoreboard. Oh my goodness, I've got stuff everywhere. Everywhere. All right, put this back where it belongs. Little housekeeping. Stop and get things cleaned up and put back where you know they belong so you can find them again. There we go. All right, now I just have structure strips everywhere, but I can live with that. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and the side that has the extra 1/8 of an inch cut, I'm going to leave that one on, and I'm going to take the one that's going to hook to the outside of our box off. So there's that, and then I'm going to put glue, wakey glue. Okay, put that on my little... Now I'm going to put the glue right where the 1/2 inch score line is and into that 1/8 of an inch score line that we added. So I've got some nice glue all in that area. And now I'm going to put the 1/2 inch score line right at the top of the box edge. So we want to make sure we get that 1/2 inch score line there, and then go ahead and burnish with our fingers down. And then before we actually hook, I'm going to go ahead and take this one off, take the backing of our score tape. But first I'm going to roll that 1/8 of an inch down and pinch it around that lip, because we do not want to not have that space there. The rest of it, I'm not gonna, we're not going into this box area anymore. Just gonna do that one. I'm not gonna do the sides. That will get done with the paper. So, but now I'm going to do the insides. So you're actually gonna take and fold your structure strips so that the score tape is to the outside on both sides. And go ahead and give this a little burnish. Okay, let's cut them to where we need it. I'm just throwing those little teeny pieces away because I've got enough little teeny pieces. All right, so take one, well, we can take both ends off. Okay, so you can probably lay it down better to do yours, but I will hold mine up so you can see what I'm doing. Now I've got it pinched closed, and I'm sliding it down so that it gets right, whoops, it gets right down into the corner. And I want to make sure that I'm getting it right down into that corner. And now we're going to burnish. Burnish the side and the top. And this is just going to give us just that much more strength with the bottom of the box. Oh, so sorry, guys. I haven't been able to eat much today or anything. I'm just not on the top of my game. But we're getting through. We're going to make the box. And then we get to decorate. I mean, how much fun is that? That is fun. I like making boxes, though. I'm just a little out of practice, but at least those are things that you probably have problems with because following my instructions. Okay, that's just a little long. It's not fitting down in there. So you always want to check it so that it fits before you take that tape off. All right, so it fits. So we're going to take both sides off. There we go. It's nice to have nails. Pinch it closed in the center. Stick it right down in the corner so you know that it's right down in there against the bottom of this piece, and then push it down and let's burnish. And that is really going to nicely reinforce our stuff here. Okay, let's make sure this one fits. Yes. Okay. We've had a pretty nice day. It's taken me all day coming in and out at doing this. Just because I can only last for so long, I guess. I don't know. All right, all the way down. Because if it's not against this, it's not really going to be helping it. All right. Now, you could have waited to do this piece till after we do the structure stripping, but, you know, there's not going to be that much of it showing. It was just to pretty it up a little bit. So, we have that done. We have our nice box. We still have to build our lid, and we've got to fix the bottom of this. Now, when we cut our pattern paper to go on to this piece, and I figured out one thing that I'm going to do, and I also did it on my corners on the bottom, is I've got my black magic marker, and on the tops of these, since I didn't get the structure strip, I'm inking the top of the chipboard. So that if I don't get it covered super well, that it's not going to. But of course, you guys are going to get the structure strips on the top before you do it. But this black covers up a lot of what I may or may not miss. But I'm going to do structure strips on these. Sometimes the corners are really all you're going to have to worry about. All right. Okay, so let's see what's next. What do I want to do next? Let's slide our drawer in. This way. This way. Oh, holy for heaven and sakes. There we go, this way. Upside down and backwards. I can't do upside down and backwards today. We're just going to slide this little sucker right back in here. There we go. And I'm going to maneuver this to the top and put my, come on, put my eraser in here so that it will stand up nice and straight. Make sure I've got it right where I want it. I mean, once it's in here, it doesn't scoot around too much, so we're just going to be fine with that. Now, the box bottom should snugly fit in. Okay. And that way the box will have something to lean down on. Okay, so let's pop this back out. Excuse me. And I'm thinking that putting the structure strips, let's see, how many structure strips do I have left? Let me go ahead and put my glue on, because I'm thinking I'm going to have to make some more. So I have one, and I have a bunch of short ones here. I suppose I could actually use all my short ones up. I'm going to have to make some more structure strips. So, I'm going to go ahead and get off. I'm going to cut down another 8.5 by 11 page of structure strips, because I'm still going to need both the sides both the long sides and the short sides for this with structure strips. I'm going to need both the short sides and long sides here for the structure strips, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. Plus I'm going to have to make the lid, so I still need structure strips for that. So I am going to make myself some more structure strips, and we'll be back with you. Okay guys, so we are now going to do our lid. We have, and of course all your measurements are on the description box below, but so I'm not going to give them to you here, but you've got your lid fronts and backs and your two lid size side to side. Now these are the same size and these are the same size. And these are the correct sizes that I have on here, but again, just look in your description box to grab your, let's see, front lid piece, your back lid piece, your box side lid pieces, and your lid top. So grab those, and we're going to go ahead and get our structure strips and start putting these together. I know that I don't have anything of length for my little scraps, but always check your little scraps to see if you've got pieces that you can use. We will be able to use some of them when we secure the inner circle of this. Okay. This one does not look like I scored it. You always want to make sure you get that score tape burnished down, not scored down, burnished down. Okay, so we're just going to cut ourselves two pieces. Let's see, I'll use my white pen here. Two pieces the same size as the box lid. I could just put them together and cut them. I always tend to do things in the hardest way possible. All right, get these cut. Okay, and we're going to get this with a nice little burnished line in there. Let's see, actually, I did it the wrong way. That's okay. We're just getting started this morning. So I'm going to, oh, I got a little tape hanging over the edge. Let me just clip that off, guys. Okay. So we're going to put our lid top up to, I swore I wasn't going to tell you that anymore. There we go. And now we're going to, let's see, now this is all getting butted up, I believe. I can't remember now how I work this. I think it's all getting butted up to the lid top. Yes. So we're not sitting it on top of the box lid. We're going to lay it right into the box lid. Now, this piece is 1/8 of an inch longer, so your box lid side, your back and your front side to the lid is 1/8 of an inch longer than your lid top. So you want to even that out on both sides when you put it down. Just make sure you've got the same side. If you need to double check by putting this smaller side lid and make sure that they match up, because that's what it's matching up to. So you got that set. Make sure it's pushed into the box lid as nice and tight and as snug as you can. even as you're pulling up, make sure that you really have that snugly against your lid top. We don't want any excess space in there. And I'm going to burnish that down. Okay, same thing with the other side. This is the one I cut, yes. There we go. Okay, so let's make sure that we're even on both sides. Pull this in and then pull up your structure strip. Pull it nice and firmly into place. There we go. And then burnish that down as well. Okay, now we're going to need two here's my white. We're going to need let's see. Yeah, the same size as our lid top. And we're going to need two of those. I'm going to cut one. And then just cut another one. Try and keep it as simple as possible. All right. Keep my space clean. Little housekeeping. Little housekeeping. All right. And I did burnish all of these down. There we go. Let me go ahead and make it a little easier on myself by getting that bend in there. Now this is going to, your side lid piece is going to go matching up on both sides with your lid top. And if you want to just make sure that you've got it where it needs to be, then pull up your structure strip. There we go. And same with the other side here. I'm trying to keep my charm from banging on the table so much. Irritates me. I know it has to irritate you guys. Hopefully you don't hear it very much, but I think this microphone that I have, I do believe picks up quite a bit. So hopefully that you're not finding that irritating. Alrighty then. My last lid side lines up perfectly with the lid top. If you want to just double check that you're holding it at the right angle. There we go. And burnish. Okay. So, the front and back lid will butt up against the two side lids. Okay, so now we're just going to need structure strips, which I can use some of my scraps here. Going to need structure strips for the outside and the inside to really give this lid some good support. So, too small, too small, too small. Let's see, that one's good, but it'll go on the inside. I think the rest of these are all going to work for me just fine. So I get to use some of my scrap pieces. So keep going back to those because you don't want to waste the score tape. So let's see. It doesn't really matter which side you go on to get these done, and I'm going to need 4 this size, so I'm going to do 2 at a time. Throw that away and do 2 more. The same size. And I'm going to throw those 2 little pieces away. Those are too small to do anything. Okay, so I'm going to put this on our side. And I'm going to go ahead and do the other side as well. And then I'll flip them over and burnish. You want to make sure that it's not going to get in the way, that it's not long enough to get in the way of the actual workings of the, you know, where you're folding it and stuff. You don't want it to be getting into those folds at all. Both top, bottom sides, the whole enchilada there, baby. So that one, oh, this one. And last one here. Okay, now I'm just going to burnish all of these. Make sure they're down nice. If any of it is, I got a little edge over here hanging off, you don't want it hanging off your chipboard. So just trim off. This one's a little crooked, so got that trimmed off. That's fine. This one got a little hanging edge. And just make sure you don't have any hanging edges because you don't want it to interfere with your paper when we go to decorate this. So now I'm just going to take the front, fold it up, put this to the inside, put your lid side to the inside to lay on top of your front. Hold them together. Let's put a nice fold in it before we take our backing off of our double-sided tape, and then just fold it around. And that makes our a nice corner. I'm going to get in a little closer so you maybe can see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to pick up my side lid and lay it inside so that it is actually the inside front is leaning against the outside edge. We're going to go ahead and fold our structure strip around and get a nice fold in there so when we go to actually put it on, that it's going to be easy for us. So again, bring your side lid up to lay against the back of your lid side, your lid front, and then just push the structure strip over. I'm going to burnish that down and go to our other side. And that is how easy that is. Get a little bend in there. I need to make sure I'm staying in. Pull this off. Your lid side goes against the back of your lid back, and just squeeze that structure strip around there so it maintains the correct box angles. So this one, we're going to do the same thing. Get a nice fold in there. Take your backing off. Let's see. So you can see this one too. Put this right against the edge of your side. Hopefully you can see that. It's going to go right like that. Right like that. Okay, I think you got it that time. Get it lined up so it's square, and push your structure strip around. Okay, I'm going to put you back out, or I will... Oh, hello. There we go. Okay. And then we're going to burnish those puppies down. Good job. Good job, everybody. Looking good. So there is our lid. We're going to test it. It should fit nice and snug. Not a whole lot of movement. Very good. It goes over really easy. Superb. Superb. Okay. Yep. I like it. Very good. Okay. So, now I have to figure out, because this lid is going to open up this way. All right, so it's going to open up like this. And we're going to have a ribbon to keep it from flopping back, because that's a little too much for the lid to have to support. So we'll have a piece of ribbon that'll keep it from going too far. Now, let's see. Now I think I'm going to do a little bit of papering, getting this decorated. I have to figure out what I'm going to do there. And then we're going to, I don't know. I'm sorry. The last thing we need to do is take your structure strips, cut them this length. And let's get the inside done. So I need, okay, that's too short. I'm going to throw them away. If they're too short for this, I'm just going to throw them away, because this is the shortest thing I've got left. That one's good. So I didn't really waste a whole lot. If you find it better to cut your structure strips to measure, because, you do end up wasting some of your score tape. Or you can keep it if you go to do another box later on. It's all up to you. So I need 4 of these. Let's see, is this one long enough? No, that one's getting tossed too. All right, so let's take one of these, and I need 4 the structure strips. And just measure them yourself. They're going to fit into your box. Alrighty. And this time you're going to fold where the structure strips are on the outside. Go ahead and burnish your fold lines, because you really need them to be able to be pushed into the corners to give proper support. actually do their job the right way. And just pull both of your backings off of your double-sided tape. Or if you're just using glue, it slows the process down, but you can totally just use glue. Or if you run out of your score tape, because doing that last section of structure strips, I did end up using the rest of my tape and had to start a new roll, but it wasn't a brand new roll. So I think if you're starting out with a brand new roll of 1/4 inch, that you're still going to be fine putting this box together. All right, put it right into the corner so that it actually is doing its job. And then we'll go down and burnish once I get all of them in. Squeeze it together so you're just putting a little edge right into the corner, all the way down to the bottom, and then lay one side down and bring the other side across, and there you go. And this will be the last bit of strengthening and stuff for this part. There's still going to be some structure strip stuff going on for in this drawer area where we're going to put the bottom of the box. So we're not completely done with that yet. And then just give it a good burnish all the way around. Make sure that score tape is engaged. Not married, just engaged. Okay, little housekeeping. Oh, and then with the heater on, everything is got static cling and it all is sticking to me, driving me nuts. Okay, all right, so now I'm going to figure out what we're going to do next. So give me a second. Be right back. Okay, so I went, oh, I got a little bit of smuts on there. There we go. Get that off. Okay, so I went in and got a paper from June. I believe is this one, paper from June. I think this one's August and this one's September. But one of the others. This is what I'm going to use to cover my box. This is the front, this is the sides, and this is the back. And I believe I'll have enough to do the sides of the lid in the same papers. And then the top, I believe the top of the lid, I'm going to do pattern paper. And I'm hoping I have enough of this color to actually do my drawer front as well. So it'll kind of blend, but still kind of hang out. I might change my mind on that, but anyway. Okay, so now we've got our structure strips everywhere. So the paper is just going to use this black as an edge. And then I'll show you what we're going to do here in the front. But I'm going to go ahead and start in the back. Now for the back, I'm using this. Now you guys can use whichever papers you want. But this is super pretty. And I really haven't used it much. So I know I have a, trying to see where I want. There's a little bit of delicate design on here, and I think I like this. I have a little perforation at the top, and let me see, inking it. Nah, you can still see the perforation. So let me cut this off real quick here. Just give me a nice little edge on here. Nice little edge. Take that perforation off of there. Alrighty. So I am going to use the top of this because I like the little more patterned look. And I'm going to give myself a little bit of edge on my paper all the way around. And, oh, I left the cap off my white pen. That wasn't good. Now, where is my, here it is, my pencil. So I'm just going to make a line where I'm going to cut. There we go. And I'm going to cut this first. This is the bottom part. I'm going to cut that line first. So that's going to give me the largest piece of paper in order to use again up at the top, because it's going to be going in the same direction. When I cut this strip off, it's going to, when I go to use it, it'll be going this way, so that won't help me too much. So I'm going to cut this section first. Although, if I know I'm going to use this section on the top, it probably would be a smart thing to run this line down here. Then this would be the exact same size for the top of the lid as I'm using. If I needed to scrunch it down a little bit, I could. So, having said what I said before, I am going to go ahead and cut where I have just the little short strip. I'm going to go ahead and cut that so that both of these pieces of paper will be the same. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Find my little notch in there. Alrighty. Put this with my scraps. Okay, come on. There we go. And now, cut my other little strip down. Now let's see where we land here. Very nice. Let me cut off. Let me, I got little pencil marks. I'm going to take those off first. And then I'm going to ink my edges, and I'm going to go ahead and put this down. However, when I put this down, I am only going to put down like the bottom half, because the top half, this is the back of the box, I'm going to be adding my box lid on, and I'm going to need to be able to lift this up and put my paper back behind it that is going to keep the lid attached to the box, okay? But just in interest of not losing this or using it for something else, I am going to go ahead and attach the lower half. You don't have to if you don't want to. Just trying to think. It might be kind of a pain in the tush, but let's get this inked up here. Get all four sides, because you're going to be able to see everything. I did pick out some corner pieces. So I've got, and I'm going with kind of a old silver. And I've got a glass knob. This is a Tim Holtz knob. And the hitching post, the Tim Holtz hitching post. And I've got that in a silver as well. So, yeah. So I picked those out. I'll be using those. Now, do I want to attach this? Yeah, I think it'll be fine. And that way I won't lose it and I won't use it. Alrighty, here we go. Again, I'm just gonna attach the lower half so that I'll be able to do all my inner workings when I'm ready for that part. And I can always put a clip on it if I'm finding that it's bending or anything like that. All right. Make sure that it is even and put it down. And you can figure out whatever amount of black you want showing. That's totally your preference. All right. Okay. Yeah, I think that's going to stay just fine. I'm not going to have any problems with that. Now the sides. And you want to kind of keep in mind the height, the amount that you're leaving on the sides of the bottom of the box, you know, so that you're uniform with your black edges. I gotta tilt this down a little bit so I can see what I'm doing here. Pull this up just a smidge. Okay, make my mark. Okay, now because I'm cutting 2 of these, I'm going to go ahead and make the mark all the way across for this one. And then I'll get both my sides out of here, and I'll have this large piece of paper to do with as I please. All right, so that's my first cut. Come on, get in there. Now, where's my mark? There she blows. Okay. Now let's cut my first one out, and I will measure my second one by itself too. Okay, get my little half of my little pencil mark off of there. Very nice indeed. Okay, I'm going to ink this, and there's nothing going on around this that I have to worry about, so I'm just going to place it all down. Get it nice and well inked. Sorry, gotta see what I'm doing here. All right. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. It is cold but beautiful out here in Kentucky. No, low 40s. But sunshine. Sunshine is warm, but there's a breeze that cools you right back down again. Oh, yeah, we're definitely trying to get used to this weather coming straight from Florida into a Kentucky winter. And then you're just going to lay this across. Get it nice and burnished down. Make sure that glue is really pushed into the corners and around the edges. Don't want this coming up. And that right there. There we go. That just somehow just missed it. I just missed it. Missed a little set. That must have been where my thumb was. Get that little bit of glue right there. And remember, it does dry clear. Now we're going to get my paper and cut the other end. There's that set up. Let's see. Side to side's good. Now top and bottom. All right, let's make our mark. And that's all I have to make, is just the one. Alrighty then. I'm going to ink this up. Doing it off the work surface here, because this I just need to get a different one out, but I like to at least try and get one project done when I get out a new inker of whatever kind it might be, or I feel like I kind of got gypped at what money I spent on that particular item. Okay. Glue this puppy down. All right. I'm sorry this is not coming as fast as I had wanted it to, but me getting sick that day and a half or whatever really kind of slowed me down. I'm just now starting to try and get back into the swing of things a little bit here. There we go. There we go. Good. Give it a nice burnish. Make sure all of the edges have gotten glue all the way to them. Okay, so far so good. Looking good. All right, now the front. Okay. There's that. And there's that. Okay, and let's see with this one. This goes all, I'm going to go ahead and cut the top part first. That's going to give me my largest and longest strip, because this is directional as well, and this is the size, this is the same way that I'm using this paper, where the side one, if I was going to use that, it would flip and probably look okay, but some things would look like it was sideways. So just keep that in mind when you're cutting your paper. And now where's my mark? Where's my mark? Oh, for heaven's sakes, I've lost it. I have lost my mark. There it is right there. Okay. There it is right there. And I've lost it again. Between the sun and the light, it's just kind of losing that little teeny mark in there. And I hope I did that right. Yes, I did. Good, because I only had one chance. I only had one piece of this paper. This is my favorite paper, hence the reason I have chosen this to be on the front. But whatever sheet you have that you like the best, that's the one you need to be using. All right. Let's give this a... I keep hooking my microphone cord into the... Let's see now. Very nice. Right there. Looks good. Let me ink it. My husband has had a heck of a time with a smoker that we bought, and this is now the third one, but the customer, it's Pit Boss is the name brand. The customer service has been out of this world. So, but he got it up and running the other day, and we went out and bought Boston butts and chicken quarters. And my husband is doing 3 Boston butts and 3, 6, 9, 12 chicken quarters, and then some country style ribs. All today. Then I get to put all that away tonight. We have one of those food saver suction doodads. And so I put everything in there and freeze it so it stays good for a long time. And then when I go to cook, all I got to do is sides and defrost something. So it's really nice. Okay, I am going to put glue around the opening here. Make it a nice, good stream of glue. All right. And now I'm going to, let's see, just kind of get the ends and around this a little bit more. And then I'm just going to do the top half of the paper and all the way around the edge. All right, so this, yeah, so right at, just gonna be right in the top half here. All right, and we're gonna lay this down. Made a mess. That's all right. Remember, it dries clear. Make sure we're even on both sides. Now be careful pushing this down. Make sure you support this area that has got no support to it yet. I don't mind glue coming out. That just means that it has gone all the way to the end, and you know that that paper is going to be held down. So glue oozing out just doesn't bother me. Okay, so now we're going to flip the box over. So there's our front, but I need to cut the hole out. So I'm going to flip it over, and here's our back, and I'm going to show you with a pencil how I'm going to cut this. Okay, can you see? You see that? I'm going to try and cut it so that there's a cut mark on each one of those lines. And then we're going to fold everything back. Now, this one, let me show you. The one closest to the bottom, I'm only going to leave approximately 1/2 inch going across. Oops, well, I kind of went up from that one. I'm going to leave a 1/2 inch of that paper all the way across, because remember, this is just 3/8, so by the time it comes over everything and down, it should not go much past this part of the black. And actually, I probably need to leave it shorter than that. Let's go just 1/4 inch. And I'll tell you how that works once I get there. So I'm going to get my craft knife. And I'm sorry, I can't really get this and do it while I'm showing you. But you saw where I was going to cut. So I'm going to go all the way into the corner with my craft knife and come up the best I can. So I might be having to change my blade on this. It's getting a little dull. So once you get a bit of the paper cut out, then you're just going to fold it around and glue it down, and that's going to give you a finished edge on the inside of your drawer. We don't need a ton of stuff on there, so only keep one layer. You know, don't that's why I did not put the structure strips, because this is getting covered up by our design paper. And you just want to make sure it's really pushed around so it makes a nice clean edge. All right, and then we'll glue those down. I'm going to go ahead and do that and put glue right along the edge of the chipboard. Put some glue right along there so that there is some glue there for it to grab hold to and keep a nice edge. And then just pull it up and around. There we go. Got a little bit of excess on one side there. Do a little bit of burnishing. And while the glue is still wet, push down along your edge here to make it nice and squared. Okay. A little bit of glue right on the edge and then all around the triangle. Bring your fingers around and push down on that sucker. Okay, do a little burnishing. And I'm not cutting these little pieces shorter because I just feel like this is one more way of getting just a little bit more security right around this edge. Okay. Now let me cut this straight across here best I can. Okay, and then cut some of this side off. Come on. Come on. There we go. I couldn't pick it up. And we'll just... There. It's not pretty, but it's done. Okay, so there are my two edges. These are not going to get seen, so I'm going to put glue right on the edge of the chipboard and then the edge of the paper. If this is someplace where you think you'd want to use your double-sided tape, you could totally do that. Remember, we don't want it coming down this block very much at all. So I think I'm going to grab a few clips and clip this down. Make sure though that when you're doing that, that you've got it pulled taut. Again, like I said, if you wanted to do this with your double-sided tape, that would hold it much better, especially if you don't have any binder clips or clothespins or anything like that, because the glue does take a little bit to grab. This is not. Just keep working it. Come on. And if some of the glue has dried, just put some more on. All right, I believe, let me grab, oops, I'm knocking things all over the place. This one wasn't good for that. Let me grab, here we go. This little bit in the center keeps wanting to pop off, so I'm just going to put another. There we go. There, I think that will hold. And then this bottom part, just start bending that over. And remember, there's a little bit of a lip. And we want to make sure that we're going to be able to get it down on that lip. So just start really working it in there. And we're going to get our bone folder in here. And really kind of burnish in an edge so that when we go to glue this, it kind of automatically goes where we want it. All right. Now I'm going to put glue again on the, although the chipboard on this side is covered with structure strips, but I'm still going to put some glue on the top and the sides of the little lip. And then I'm going to put it on the edge of the paper so that what part of it does actually get down onto the inner bottom has something to stick. There we go. That's nice. Nice, nice, nice. Now at this point, if you wanted to go ahead and cover this, because I know I covered this first and I should have waited, but if you wanted to go ahead and cover this now so that you can hide up top what, you know, what all this is, I'm not going to worry about it because you're not going to really see this unless you're turning the box inside out, backwards, upside down, taking the drawer out, really trying to, you know, look and see what's going on. I just don't think anybody's going to be that interested. But if you want to, you can go ahead and take a piece and cover it now. Okay. Let's see how we're doing here. If you got any pieces coming up, or, you know, check it in a little while. If there's any pieces that didn't get stuck, we'll just put some more glue down. Okay. I have a little bit of glue that didn't get anything put on it. I'm going to wipe that off, both sides here. There we go. Okay, so there's the front of our box. So now we have all four sides of the box done. Yay! And we've got our drawer opening done. Make sure we give ourselves a nice squared top and bottom. Be gentle, but yeah, that makes it just finished off really nicely. Okay. Oh, I know one thing. The sun coming in these windows makes this room warm. That's okay, other than I want to go and curl up and take a nap now. I can't have that when I'm crafting. There we go. All right, next. I think what I'm going to do is put the bottom of the box on. I want to see what I'm going to have to do for that. So I'm going to take my box. Now, I still don't have the front in, so you don't want to put the front on yet. This is the back of the box. I'm actually going to put the front of the box into my hole first. And every time we put paper in there, it makes it a little more snug, which is great with me because I want it to be, I don't want it to be hard, but I want it to be snug. And I'm just going to push it so it's gently. You don't want to push it out of, you don't want it bowing. You just want to push it in so that it is naturally at where it's going to be although it's in backwards. But this way I have a sturdy, somewhat sturdy place to start putting the bottom of the box in. And my box bottom is right here. And I'm just going to slide this in. Yep, we're going to be just fine with that. Just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and stick my structure strips down. I need 2 for the sides. Let me get the tape sticking off the end cut off there, since this is basically how I'm measuring my strips. Very scientific method here. Very scientific. Okay, and these are going to be too short for anything, so don't worry about them. Toss them! Toss them bad boys. And I don't have any strips that are going to be wide, long enough this way, so I'm just going to cut myself one from this method, just lining it up. And then give me another one. There we go. All right. So this is going to be folded with the score tape on the outside. And this is going to support the bottom of the box with, you know, with this flimsier part in the front where the drawer is. It's going to give that some support, and it's giving our drawer support. So I'm going to just take off one end. Come on. Because we've got a couple of steps before we put this on. So let's just hang out with me, and I'm going to flip. Oh, doesn't matter. If you only had writing on one side, I would just flip it just for, you know, possible aesthetics, depending on your paper. If it's a lighter weight, you might see that marker. But I need it right on the edge. I mean right on the edge. And then burnish it down. And do that on all the sides. Oops. Throwing my structure strips away. I don't want to do that. Almost done with those puppies, though. I don't know that we've got too much more to do with them. But you never know with me. Okay. And I know you notice I am married and I have my wedding band on, but the way I have my camera, I flip it. And my wedding band is on this hand because it's flipped. For the, you know, the camera, it's flipped. And so I'm like, oh man, I need to tell everybody that, you know, I'm married. Happily married. I think this March is going to be 37 years. Let's see. 36. 36 years. Yeah, 36 years. Not bad. I've almost got him trained. Don't Don't tell him I said that, though. Do not tell him I said that. No, 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 no. He says a good wife is one that makes him think he's the king of the castle. And I try and let him think that. Oh, goodness. Now, we make a pretty darn good team, so. Anywho. So we will be covering the bottom of this. Oh, is that one just a little, just a snaggle too long? A titch, a snaggle, a snip, a snippet. And there we go. And I have this piece hanging over just a smidge. Smidge, I tell you, I've used all different kinds of words here to get to the same explanation, huh? Okay, so this will fit right down in here, and we're going to put the structure strips. I can see that I'm going to have to cut these structure strips down just a smidge because I do not have a full 1/2 inch. Yeah. Going to cut these down just a 1/8 inch all the way around. So I don't want the drawer to fight trying to put this in. But I do want the drawer to have some, because if I put some heavy things in there, I'm not doing quite an 1/8 on everything else. I'm going to do about a 1/16 on everything else. And when I can keep to one edge, I can do a pretty good straight line. It's if I'm just cutting through the center of the paper and I'm trying to do a straight line, that I just, I don't get it. And this is not very straight. There we go. So you can get these structure strips cut down just a little bit before you use them, or even make very specific structure strips that are maybe a 1/2 inch that you're hooking to the bottom of the box and maybe a 1/4 inch on the sides. Or just do what I did. Get to that point, see what you need, and cut it down accordingly. Alright, so get this in here. I can't remember now. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That is nice. That is nice right there. Everything fits perfectly. Okay, the only thing is I see I kept one side here that has the gray barcode top to it, so I've just got a little black soot distress paint, and I'm putting that on that little strip just so it darkens it up a little bit so we don't notice it quite as much. All right, now I'm folding these over. Put this down in here so it sets up right on the box lid, the bottom of the box. Okay. And then I'm going to pull this up. Well, you know what? Let's just pull all of these. Get these started. So it's a lot easier to do. There. Okay. So just be gentle trying to put this in, because you want this part to go in right where you want it. There we go. Oh, I feel that box firming up already. All right, let's get this down where we want it. Pull this up and push a little bit. Not too. Keep it right there on the edge. And push it down. There we go. This is good. Perfect. And make sure this is down where it needs to be. I'm just putting it where it is right at the edge. And now we will take a piece, I believe, of this yellow and put right down here. Just so all of that is covered up and the bottom looks nice and neat. If you have a bit of color showing or something like that, just take a black marker and blacken it up. Nobody will see it. Okay, there's that piece. All right, let me get this cut. Nope, still a little too long. I didn't cut off quite enough. Now let's see. And still a little long on this way. So it's just kind of a guesstimate. And you just want it to lay right in there very smoothly, you know, easily. You don't need to overcompensate. That really could use a little extra something. I am going to take one of these little pieces and I am going to put, I have just this corner just is not being as tight as it needs to be. So I am going to take a little piece before I glue this down. Go ahead and take this up. And I'm going to, if you have any corners that are acting a little not, see, you can see the white in there because it didn't get as tight in there as I wanted it. So I'm going to cut this structure strip to the size that I need it. Just gonna be a little thing. Not gonna work for me. Just giving myself a little test here. Yes. So I'm going to take off both. It's just a little teeny thing, about a ½ inch. But I'm going to try and correct this loose corner. So I'm going to pinch this corner together the way I want it. I'm going to pinch, get my finger stuck off of it. I'm going to pinch my structure strip together And I'm going to stick it right down in that corner. Lay it down on one side, keep it pinched, and lay it down on the other. Now that's tightened that up nicely. And if you need to put a little bit of glue to really help it, hold together, let's go ahead and do that. Because the structure strip is just the two little pieces of score tape. So if we put some glue on there as well, it's really going to help finish that corner up. It just was a little too loose for me. Sorry, boring. And she got really quiet. The room got silent. You know, it's weird when you do these videos, as much as well, I've heard more YouTubers say this. You catch yourself talking to yourself more and more and more. And my husband will say, well, you know, if I'm in the kitchen and I'm doing something, he goes, "Are you talking to me?" And I said, "No, just talking to myself. Don't worry about it. Nothing to see here. Move along." Oh, Lord. But it's a lot of fun, and I love interacting with you guys and getting the comments and things that I've been getting. And I think I did have a couple of comments. Where did I put them, though? I had them on a little sticky note. Well, I will come across them somewhere. Maybe I already did it on one of those other ones, because I don't think I would have thrown them away until I'd done them, and I put them right here on, so they would have been done first. So I probably threw it away, and all that garbage has been gone, so I can't check. So I probably already thanked people leaving me comments. I just love comments, guys. Just love them. I'm going to put a little glue on this little edge here. Get all this to sit down and clamp down nicely. So anything you have that is just not closed up properly, just stick a little glue in there and give it a pinch for a minute, and we should be good to go. All right, there we go. Oh, and this feels so much stronger now that that bottom piece is down there. Okay, so let's pull our box out now. Well, leave that. Let me go ahead and put this down. Let me ink it. It's not like anybody's going to see the edges, but it does go onto the top of the paper a little bit, and I've got it on everything else, so you might as well have it all the same. Again, not very many people are going to see this, but when they look at your box and go, "Oh my gosh, you made this? You didn't like buy it in a store and then make the folders?" And you say, "No, I made the whole thing." They will be very impressed. So they might flip it up and turn it upside down, and you can show them that you finished it off quite nicely. Didn't forget a thing. All right, slide this in here. Pop it down. And there we go. Isn't it pretty? Isn't it lovely? There we go. Good job. All right, let's pull our box out. I'm going to put the other end in now. Again, remember, it's going to be a little on the snug side, and you don't have as much play with it when it's not loose, because now it's, there we go. There we go. So now I might have to cut that down a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut this down a little bit more on the box now that I've got all this different paper in here and stuff. And please do not put this box, this drawer in until this is completely dry, all right? Because then you will pull your papers. So now that I have this, and see, this is flush, very flush right with this, which is exactly where I wanted it, very flush with this. But now the drawer, this top part here is still a little too long. I still want a stopper on there, so I'm just going to take off a little bit. And again, I'm going to have to, I wonder if I can pull this up, because it's just going to get way too thick. Let's see. The score tape is strong, but if you really want it pulled up, it will come. As long as I'm not pulling half my drawer apart. There we go. Come on. You can do it. Some of my nails are too long. And get my fingers in there well. You guys know I don't do much of anything with my nails. I am blessed with, I mean, they break, but I am blessed with some pretty strong, fast growing nails. Take after both my mom and my dad. My mom loved that about her nails, and my dad hated it about his, because he was constantly having to cut his nails. So, oh, there we go. Almost. Come on. One last little holdout here. Okay. And this is on the outside, so I can just pull this. Try not to take half the box with you. This is when you know if you've got good chipboard or not. If you end up pulling out just whole sections of the chipboard, then you know that that is not real good. Like some of the Michaels chipboard that you buy where they're pre-cut pieces that make little books or whatever. Sometimes those chipboards are not great. Okay, so I am going to cut just a little smaller than 1/8 of an inch all the way across, and I've got my Timmy scissors doing this. And then we'll try it again, and we'll see if this is going to work fine for us or not. Okay, so this is, let's see, where's my ruler, because I wanted to go ahead and give you the new size here. 1 5/8, so I cut off just 1/8 of an inch. Yeah, 1 5/8. Get this center just a smidge more. Come on. This will be so much easier for people, and I will change this So in the very beginning, I have or in the description box, I've got a listing of all of the actual sizes I ended up using. So that's where you want to get your sizes from. I mean, I'll tell you here as I'm doing it, but there were quite a few changes. So that's the best way I know how to do that. And again, whoops. See, that is 1.5, and I'd say this is 1 3/4. 1 3/4. So let me write that down on my sheet here. Where'd I put my box? Let's see. One 3/4. All right, so I will make sure I get that changed. Okay, so let's try this again. Slide this in, be gentle, and put it all the way down. Huh. What did I just do? Oh, it's over that. Okay, there is a little spot where I am not straight. Oh, I'm not going to keep you guys on here. Hold on.